Good afternoon. It's Artzenin. Welcome back to another insight. I finally decided how I wanted to pick up with this season of Insights with Artzenin. I am going to be going back to Yena, and then following the completion of Yena, we're going to be moving on to another Lead GU player. Could be Parasite, could be Dragon, depends. So for those of you who are just now getting here and have not been watching the vlogs in order, before I got very sick, I had just left off with Yena is number one. That's the title of that vlog episode. If you have not seen it, I do encourage you to go watch it, or this isn't going to make a lot of sense to you. Just saying. Yena was originally going to be a side character or a side supporting character, not a main character. She is now a main character. Yena will be representing the K-pop, C-pop, J-pop industry. I have done extensive research, but to those of you who are actually idols or fans of idols in this genre that I am going to let Yena represent, please understand I am not trying to be 100% hardcore precept upon precept. I am just giving my readers enough foundation so Yena is believable, her struggles are believable, her drive to become an idol, and her drive to leave is all believable. And if people read Yena, her story, and they understand the K-pop, C-pop, J-pop world with music and bands and groups and artists, Yena is for you. But I also hope Yena captures the attention of people who have mental health complications. In Yena is number one, it discussed how Yena was going to go from being, I believe, Dragon's ace or joker. She was going to be a higher ranked member in his deck. She's going to be a number. And as a number one, she's going to have access to all the other numbers. So that's 10 and under. I think in a deck of cards, it goes up to 10. It might go up to the double digits, 13, 14, 15. I do not remember at this moment, but she will be over all the numbers. But I didn't come here to recap about Yena going from a jack or an ace status to a number. What I'm really interested in is explaining why Yena is so focused, hyper-focused on Amber Fierce, whose GU name is Rabbit. The Holy Spirit asked me the other day when I was preparing for this episode, why do you have her going after Amber? The crowd's going to need to know. Your readers have to have a little bit more food to chew on than what you have currently drafted in your manuscript. And I discovered something very powerful. Yena's spiritual power, because in this fictional episodic novel series, they have the 7 powers, which is in the Book of Reuben that got omitted and never should have. And she has the power of smell. Amber has the power of hearing. So what are these two girls? How, if one's hearing and one is smell, how would that fit into Yena's corner at all? Why would she care? Because Amber is the only person who heard where Yena was at. I haven't put this in the manuscript yet, but she saw Amber from her secret place. No one could come to. Not her managers, not her friends, not her co-workers. No one could find this secret place because she would go off. Yena would run away and she would be by herself and she would lament over everything. Her body weight, the fans, the pressure from the CEO of Modest. Oh, what is it? Modest. That's her band's name. And she was having a really hard time adjusting. And she wants to unalive herself. There's other reasons she wants to unalive herself. I mean, Yena's past is rough. She was essayed growing up by either her father, her brother, or somebody in the small town she was at. She was body shamed from a very early age. Yena has a lot of problems, and she's known pain and disappointment all her life, all the time. She escapes into the K-pop world thinking it might be a little better, and it was for a hot minute, and then things went wrong in the K-pop world. She's being abused over there, verbally and physically, unfortunately. It's not by someone in management. It's not the CEO. It's a boy from another idol group that is within the same building where the K-pop artists are at in my fictional story. And he has threatened her because he's a narcissist. He's controlling, and no one would believe her anyway. So there's the secret place that only Yena knows about, that only Yena can find and go. And the night before she went to perform, Amber heard this girl crying. And she felt compassion because Amber, when you get into Amber Fierce and how she went from being pagan and lost to she got saved and she wound up in Lee Ji-yu, Amber, despite her cold, chilling exterior, does have a softness for women. She wants to protect women. She knows women have a hard time in Lee Ji-yu. She knows women have a hard time in outer world, which is what the Lee Ji-yu players call people where life is normal. So she went towards this voice that was in pure pain and agony, and they saw each other. But Yena was scared, so she ran and she hid herself from Amber. Amber was dressed in normal, casual, outer world clothes, and she had somewhat concealed herself. So if you looked at Amber as Rabbit as a GU player, and then Amber disguised, you wouldn't have been able to tell who it was. But because Yena has the power of smell, she smelled her scent. And due to Amber's very complex and unique genetics, she's got Genie, she's got Legisite, she's got some powerful genetics going on. Amber has a very beautiful scent to her that she can smell her blood, she can smell her hair, she can smell all of these things about Amber. Nobody else. She cannot, I shouldn't say it this way, but she cannot really pick up on scents that powerful outside of Amber. She can smell just fine, and she's sensitive to certain other aromas and senses in general, but Amber was unhinged in the scent department. So after the concert, and Dragon approached Yena to recruit her, because I'm still keeping that in the manuscript of season 1 of Snapshot or season 2, where Yena's intro is at. This happens. She was found by Amber first. The concert's going to happen. Dragon approaches her, but so does Amber. And she hands Dragon the formal rejected territory challenge card that he had sent to her king, Parasite. Dragon thought Parasite accepted it, but when he opened it, he found that he didn't do this. Yena sees Amber as the ace of deck evasion. And she knows it's the same girl from before where she was in her secret place because of the scent. And when she looked into Amber's eyes, that's what did it for her. She said, I want to leave this life. There is nothing here for me. And for the record, I am not encouraging people to unalive themselves. It's just this character struggles with that. She will get saved in the end. She does not actually perish and expire. But in this moment, in the beginning arc of her story, she is not in a good place. She is desperate, so desperate to escape the pain. When she looked into Amber's eyes, she said, you're it. You're it. I need the person to be you. And she said it just like that. Amber went, what are you talking about? Girl, bye. Like, Amber leaves. Dragon had previously asked her to come to Lee Ji-yu, and she turned him down. But then she said, who was that? Who was that woman? He goes, that's the ace of deck evasion. Nobody messes with her. She's practically untouchable. She's a very high established player in Lee Ji-yu. But since you don't want to join, and he was taking the card, and she snatched it, and she goes, I'll join. I want to be in deck Shota. I will join Lee Ji-yu. Not for Dragon. Not because she's going to become a queen or originally like the ace or the joker. She's going to be a number, and she will overthrow Dragon, obviously. And she does all of that to get to Amber. Amber will not fool with numbers. Amber is above that. She is very elite. Because when she looked into Amber's eyes, she thought to herself, I need somebody who will be okay with taking my life. I need somebody who's not going to be bothered that I gave them this request to unalive me. The defiance in Amber's eyes. She was cold. She could get the job done, and she would not be bothered by it because it's Lee Ji-yu. And in that world, you have to desensitize, dehumanize yourself on purpose, or you will not make it there. And that's all it took for Yena, was Amber. She had been seeking for years somebody to do the deed. And those are the two important factors for Yena's character. She needs someone who can take life and not be bothered by the act of taking life. And then she needs somebody to not be destroyed emotionally because life was taken. Everybody she had approached up until Amber made it very clear they were not cool with doing that. And these individuals who she approached prior, before that night with Dragon and Amber, those individuals, both men and women, were very concerned and threatened to turn her in to medical authorities like that if she didn't quit that. So she stopped because they tried to tell themselves, Yena's kidding, right? She's kidding. She's drunk right now. She's high right now. It's the drugs. It's the alcohol. It wasn't the drugs and alcohol. Anyone can use that as a front. I suppose if you're a Yena out there and you're listening to this and you do that in your spare time, I don't encourage people to do that. That's wrong. But Yena was in her right mind when she was under the influence of alcohol and drugs. She wants to leave so badly that even when she is supposedly trying to get blasted out of her mind, she is in pain. She knows where she's at. She knows who she is. And this life is not it. And that's all going to change when she becomes a number and makes her way up to the top, becomes a queen, overthrows Dragon. Because if she's a queen, guess who gets to initiate a territory challenge? Yena. Guess who she wants to come fight her? Amber Fierce. Now, Yena may or may not get her wish, because I fully want Yena to go into Max's deck, and I want them to recruit Yena to the light. So I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to make this new development work, but I'm excited because now Yena has a more powerful purpose and a more powerful presence, and it's going to connect to Amber. I love it. I just love how me and the Holy Spirit worked out those details. In the next vlog episode, we're going to be talking about Dragon for sure. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.